In a recently published article, Internet marketing consultant Wayne Marsh asked the question, why are businesses ignoring the mobile opportunity? And he's here to discuss the possibilities companies are missing out on, and presumably to answer that question. Hi, welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Hi.
What is it exactly they're missing out on?
Well, they're missing the potential opportunity to reach a wider market. Because, as you know, in most developed countries where you find a low penetration rate as far as PCs are concerned, you find that most persons will access the phone via a mobile device, right? Well, they will access it via a mobile device. And even though the argument goes, you know, whether or not a lot of people have internet access, the potential is still greater because where they may not have consistent data access, they'll have intermittent via free Wi-Fi. And of course, that those free Wi-Fi services offered through, you know, like restaurants, bars, etc., that is increasing.
So what we're saying is more people have access to the internet on their mobile phones than through PCs and laptops and so forth. That's the argument?
That potential is the argument,
and
right.
so
that
businesses should be exploiting it, but why aren't they?
Well, I think two reasons mainly. One is business go through a slower buying process, buying cycle for themselves, for the business and for themselves. For example, let's take Facebook. You find that quickly a lot of persons had their own Facebook pages, but not a lot of businesses initially had a presence online. That has kind of, we have reached a tipping point with that now, I think, where a number of companies are getting to the tipping point where a number of companies are having a Facebook page. And I think similarly for the mobile device, they're at the awareness stage now looking at that opportunity, but they're not yet into the buying mode.
Which is what I find strange, because it's you know, it's a techie time we're in now, so I find it strange that people are not jumping on opportunities where you could do stuff like that.
Well, as I say, you find a business owner quicker buy a device like an iPad for personal use than for business use. So I think it's the cycle, going through the cycle much slower.
Give me a specific example of how they can benefit from this.
All right, for what you can do with a mobile device, unlike a PC, let's say the phone has what they call a mobile device will have a geolocation feature, so you can tell where the person is. So you could have a mobile website that allows you to detect where the person, like 200 meters from your store, and determine that, okay, you're going to give them a 5% off if you come in the store within 15 minutes time. So they get a 15 minutes time span. I mean, you have things like you could use a camera on the phone. Let's say if you wanted to give a classified ad company, you could say, okay, take a picture of the product, and everything is integrated where you send it up to the company immediately, and it's ready to be advertised. So a number of features. So basically, what is the good thing is that you're able to use the features of the phone, which are many, and that is increasing, because before you actually had to have a mobile application in order to use the features of the phone. You have now what you call HTML, which is the language I use to write websites. The new version is HTML5, and with what they call frameworks, you can use a lot more features of the phone now to benefit your business.
Let me ask you the question in another way now. So why are they not doing it, you think, if it's obviously beneficial to them?
Well, as I say, it's awareness. I think their business owners, they're at their awareness point now. And you have companies who already have mobile websites, which if you go to the site, you probably call those the innovators. But we have not reached the early adopter stage yet where...
And it's more expensive, isn't it?
Than a regular
traditional?
website. Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Can you just convert that traditional website to the mobile?
It would require rewriting, because what we find is that the layout, and because obviously you're dealing with a much smaller screen, and the layout is a bit different. Also, and then again, you have more features. As I say, you know, you have the ability, you probably organize it differently to facilitate a touch screen rather than a typing.
So if you have a website, you would have to manage the content separately for the mobile, or could you just manage it in one place and have it go to the different media?
All right, I'll break it in two. You have the look and feel, and you have the database, but the back end to a website. So yes, the database could be managed across all platforms because it's similar. Right. But in terms of the look and feel, you'd separate for now for the desktop versus a mobile device. I mentioned earlier about a framework. The framework allows you to basically write one set of code and distribute it across many mobile devices, including, let's say, these are like for the iPhone, they have an iOS, that's the operating system. For BlackBerry, you have their own operating system. And like a Samsung Galaxy, you have like an Android operating system. So you could actually distribute it across. I think eventually, though, it's going to be much easier to write for all platforms, because as HTML develop and become more feature-rich, you will be able to generate one code and have it across all platforms. But for now, you will have to separate your mobile and your desktop.
Okay, all right, good to see you. Ad majorem Dei Gloria.
To the greater glory of God.
Internet marketing consultant Wayne March, you don't know anything about that. All right.